hold on to your seats, family, because Huntsville has officially erupted, and no, this isn't your grandma's tea time gossip. Did Martell Holt just turn from reality TV heartthrob into the most controversial man in social media history overnight? Could Arionne Curry really be playing the puppet master behind the chaos? Or is she simply trapped in a storm she helped create? Rumors are swirling faster than a hurricane on steroids. And Tasha K just dropped a bomb that has fans gasping, clutching their pearls, and questioning everything they thought they knew about these so-called stars. Private recordings, secret deals. And whispered threats are, we witnessing the ultimate betrayal or just another reality TV stunt gone off the rails? And while the internet lights up with memes, debates, and courtroom speculation, one question echoes louder than the rest. How deep does this web of scandal really go, and who will survive the fallout? If you thought Huntsville's drama had limits, think again. This is about to get messy, explosive, and absolutely unforgettable. So grab your popcorn, mute your notifications, and let's dive headfirst into the chaos that has everyone talking. It all started innocently enough, or at least that's what the world wanted to believe. Martell Holt, once the golden boy of Huntsville's reality TV scene, had a reputation for charm, flirtation, and just enough mischief to keep cameras rolling. But behind the smiles, the red carpets, and the Instagram stories, a darker narrative was quietly brewing. Enter Arionne Curry, self-proclaimed Klesla Queen, who stepped into Martell's orbit like a magnet to metal, sparking whispers that would eventually grow into a deafening roar. What most fans didn't see at first was the pattern. The late-night texts, the hidden meetings, the subtle manipulations that hinted at a game far more intricate than the casual drama of reality TV. But when Tasha K dropped her revelations, the carefully constructed facade began to crumble, exposing layers of chaos, manipulation, and scandal that would leave Huntsville gasping. Martell's past wasn't exactly squeaky clean. From alleged business disputes with former partners to rumors of extravagant spending on luxuries that no mortal should own. The man had a trail of eyebrow-raising behavior long before Arionne even entered the picture. Sources who spoke off the record to our investigative team described late-night parties in high-rise penthouses, private jets used for non-essential travel, and a wardrobe that could rival entire retail chains. Every social media post seemed innocent at first glance. Martell smiling with friends, posing at charity events, but beneath the surface, insiders claimed there was a methodical, almost theatrical cultivation of image. Martell Holt was not just a personality, he was a brand, and brands, especially fragile celebrity brands, are notoriously delicate when subjected to scrutiny. And then there was the infamous private tape. Now, before you roll your eyes, remember, this isn't the stuff of small-time gossip. According to our sources, the tape was allegedly recorded in a moment that should have been sacred and private. And even more shocking, it wasn't just stored away. Whispers suggest it became a weapon, a tool for control, leverage, or intimidation. Imagine being in a room, cameras off, thinking your moments are safe, only to find out that every word, every gesture could later become currency in a twisted game of ego and power. Melody Shear, Martell's wife at the time, reportedly became aware of this. And the tension that followed was enough to shake the foundation of everything they had publicly presented. Public appearances previously filled with staged smiles and scripted charm now seemed laden with unspoken threats, awkward glances, and the invisible weight of private betrayals. Arionne's role in this evolving storm was equally complex. Once considered the other woman in the narrative, her influence over Martell appeared to extend beyond mere romance. Sources allege that she became a confidant, an accomplice, and, in some cases, strategist in the chaos that enveloped Martell's personal and professional life. Her social media activity, strategically timed posts, cryptic captions, and carefully angled photos was scrutinized endlessly, with fans speculating about hidden messages, secret alliances, and the subtle manipulation of public perception. Could she have orchestrated certain events to maintain relevance, attention, or control over Martell's actions? Or was she, as she claimed publicly, simply caught in the whirlwind of a man whose life seemed destined to implode with every reckless decision he made? Every new revelation seemed to pile on top of the last, as if the universe itself had conspired to create a spectacle so dramatic that reality TV could not contain it. As fans dissected every clip, every comment, and every post, the story transformed from a simple scandal into a multi-layered investigation that blurred the line between entertainment and real-life consequence. The more people watched, the more evidence appeared, and the more the narrative expanded. It was no longer just about private indiscretions or bad choices. It became a story about power, manipulation, loyalty, and the lengths people will go to protect their image, even as it crumbles before their eyes. With every whisper, every leaked message, every cryptic post, the tension escalated, pulling viewers into a maelstrom of speculation, debate, and outrage, leaving them asking not just what happened, but who would survive the fallout, and who would be remembered as the villain in a saga that had already rewritten the rules of reality, reputation, and public perception. As the scandal continued to unfold, the public began to see Martell Holt in a completely different light, one far removed from the charming reality star they once admired. Allegations of manipulation and deceit were no longer whispers, but statements that spread like wildfire across social media platforms, fueling debates and drawing in new fans and critics alike. Anonymous sources claim that Martell had been leveraging private information for months, threatening to expose personal moments in order to maintain control over both personal relationships and professional alliances. Arionne Curry, meanwhile, seemed to navigate the storm with calculated precision. Her every post and public appearance analyzed for hidden meaning or veiled threats. Eyewitnesses described tense encounters at events, where Martell's notorious charm slipped to reveal a man defensive, irritable, and unusually calculating, while Arionne appeared to be pulling strings behind the scenes. Social media exploded with reactions ranging from shock to outrage as fans dissected leaked screenshots and alleged insider information that painted a picture of financial extravagance, secretive meetings, and a lifestyle built on influence and intimidation. One so-called insider revealed that late-night strategy sessions often included discussions about controlling narratives, shaping public opinion, and neutralizing anyone who dared challenge their carefully curated image. Meanwhile, Melody Shear, whose composure remained unshakable in the face of mounting chaos, became a symbol of resilience and strength. The public began rallying behind her, admiring her calm demeanor, her pointed silence during confrontations, and her apparent ability to rise above the toxicity that had consumed Martell and Arionne. Memes and viral clips contrasted Martell's flippant behavior with Melody's dignified responses, further cementing the perception that Martell's empire of charm and manipulation was beginning to crumble under scrutiny. Reports of lavish spending on luxury cars, private jets, and designer wardrobes became central to the narrative, with sources claiming that Martell and Arionne maintained an opulent lifestyle funded by influence and public fascination. Every public appearance, every cryptic social media post, and every interaction at events seemed to provide new material for speculation, reinforcing the narrative that Martell was a man addicted to control, and that Arionne, willingly or not, was a partner in the spectacle. The courtroom drama only added fuel to the fire, with allegations of intimidation, covert recordings, and verbal sparring, creating a tense environment that played out both in legal settings and on social media. Fans analyzed every gesture, every glance, and every statement, piecing together a story that seemed both implausible and undeniable. A perfect storm of scandal, power struggles, and personal betrayal. By the time leaks of supposed private conversations surfaced, the narrative had reached a fever pitch, with speculation about legal consequences, ruined reputations, and public shaming dominating discussions online. Martell's attempts at humor and sarcasm in interviews were no longer seen as charming, but as defensive and tone-deaf, further isolating him from the public who once celebrated his every move. Arionne's alignment with Martell was scrutinized, with viewers questioning her motivations, loyalty, and judgment. While Melody emerged as the unlikely hero whose patience, intelligence, and strategic silence allowed her to command the moral high ground in a saga that had begun as simple entertainment and evolved into a social phenomenon. Fans continued to debate, speculate, and analyze, wondering not only who would face the consequences first, but also what other secrets might still surface to redefine the scandal and cement the reputations of those involved. As the scandal reached its peak, the pressure on Martell Holt intensified, and it became impossible for him to maintain the carefully constructed persona that had once won fans and media attention alike. Every action, every post, and every public statement was dissected, replayed, and analyzed for signs of guilt, arrogance, or desperation. Allegations of secret recordings, manipulation, and threats had transformed from rumors into a narrative that dominated conversation both online and offline. And the involvement of Arionne Curry only added layers of intrigue and controversy. Observers claimed that behind closed doors, Martell and Arionne were scrambling to control damage. But the more they attempted to manage the story, the further it seemed to spiral out of control. Sources reported heated arguments, late-night strategy calls, and frantic attempts to monitor social media for leaks that might further tarnish their reputation. Meanwhile, Melody Shear continued to maintain her composure, emerging as a stabilizing figure whose measured responses, courtroom poise, and refusal to engage in petty retaliation won the admiration of fans and critics alike. The public began to view the saga as more than just a reality TV scandal. It became a cautionary tale about power, ego, and the consequences of misusing influence. Stories circulated about potential legal ramifications, including lawsuits, financial investigations, and other forms of accountability, suggesting that Martell's actions might finally have consequences beyond social media outrage. Observers also speculated about the role of producers, cast members, and other insiders who were navigating their own involvement in the drama, balancing the desire for entertainment with the risk of being associated with behavior that had quickly shifted from amusing to deeply troubling. The contrast between Martell's flippant demeanor and Melody's calm, strategic patience became a central point of discussion, highlighting the stark difference between those who thrive on chaos and those who maintain dignity under pressure. Every leaked message, alleged secret recording, or viral clip only added fuel to the fire, reinforcing public perception that Martell had repeatedly overstepped boundaries and underestimated the consequences of his behavior. Arionne's continued alignment with Martell was met with criticism and ridicule, with fans questioning her motivations, judgment, and the wisdom of maintaining loyalty to someone whose actions were increasingly seen as reckless. Meanwhile, social media trends and fan commentary framed Melody as the moral center, the figure whose resilience and quiet strength allowed her to command respect and attention even as the chaos raged around her. The escalation of public scrutiny, combined with allegations of private misconduct and financial mismanagement, created a climate where every move by Martell and Arionne was under a microscope, forcing them to confront the reality that their carefully constructed images had been shattered. The story evolved from a sensational gossip topic into a larger conversation about accountability, reputation, and the costs of unchecked ambition and manipulation. With viewers captivated, analysts debating the motives and morality of everyone involved, and the narrative continuing to unfold in real time. It became clear that this saga would leave lasting impressions on public perception and the individuals at the center of the storm. The combination of legal threats, social backlash, and media scrutiny made the consequences unavoidable. And the saga that had begun with whispers and speculation now stood as a monumental example of how quickly fame, influence, and public trust can unravel when ego and deception take center stage. Now that you've seen the layers of scandal, the intrigue and the chaos that has consumed Martell Holt and Arionne Curry, it's time to ask yourself the hard questions. Who do you believe in this story? The woman whose calm strength has captured the hearts of fans, Or the man whose charm now feels like manipulation? And the partner who may be complicit in keeping the chaos alive? How far would you go to protect your image when the world is watching and every move is scrutinized? This is more than gossip. It's a lesson in power, accountability, and the consequences of choices that ripple far beyond personal circles. We want to know your take on it, your theories, and your predictions for what comes next, because the conversation isn't over. And the fallout is still unfolding in real time. If you want to stay ahead of every revelation, every shocking clip, and every explosive claim, then this is the place to be. Hit that like button if this story shook you. Share your thoughts in the comments because we want to hear your perspective. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single update in this unfolding saga. The drama is real, the stakes are high, and the story is far from finished. So stay tuned and stay ready.